Today we are going to be going over Cursor. Let me turn off my notifications so I don't have anything coming in. We are going to be going over Cursor, which is a website builder. So you could build an app, you could build a whole software, you could build just a simple website. So we're going to go over exactly how to use that today and then how to sell it to local businesses and kind of why it is, in my opinion, other than the receptionist, and it pairs greatly with it, and we're going to get into that, why building a website for a business can be the easiest and best way to step foot into any business and get a hold of their attention, and really just start making a change. So we're going to go over some live examples. I'll give it a couple more minutes, see if anybody else comes in, but let's go ahead and dive right in. Let me open up a Cursor real quick. So if you guys want to go after this call, maybe save the website. It's just cursor.com. Um, it is super confusing when you look at it from this point of view. When you like, I know nothing about coding. I have had zero experience in any kind of like learning code at all. I have no clue what I'm doing. But with Cursor, you're able to talk to it like a normal large language model, and it uses sometimes it uses Claude, sometimes it uses OpenAI, and it goes back and forth. It kind of just picks whatever's the fastest model at the time, and then the cheapest because they go off of token usage. So this is Cursor. There's also Lovable. Oh, one moment. Lovable.dev. So we have Lovable. I have used Cursor. I'm not too advanced at Lovable. It is a lot more user friendly in terms of UI. You can go around and just click on random people's websites. You see people can remix a website. Um, so have fun. I mean, look at this one. This one has 10 or 1,080 remixes. So, I mean, they must have done something right. We've built all of our websites off of Cursor, and that's kind of what I've stuck to. So I'm going to stick to, what I know. Let me go back to Cursor here. Let me make this bigger too. And like I said, guys, if you have any questions, please ask. And I'm going to get a little in the weeds here. So, um, let me share entire screen. Here we go. Okay, now I can have this. So this is Cursor. Let's go through kind of the presentation I put together for you guys. Move myself out of the way. So let's go through why this is the easiest way to get your first AI agency client. So not, it's a no-brainer that a good website is going to help any business. So they need a modern website, and it's not too scary. Like you're not pitching them directly on AI. You could be more of a website builder. That's what you come in as. And then you kind of open the door to get your foot into these businesses, and then you could, down the line sell them integrations with the website. It could be an AI receptionist. It could be one of those widgets that kind of, let's see if Cursor has one. I don't believe they do, but the widgets I'm talking about, they're the ones that are like the bottom right hand side, the ones that you can talk to. You can just talk like this. So that's what I'm referring to. Everybody knows that they need a website. So, and if we take a look at, about 90% of small businesses, their websites are completely out of date. They're slow, they're non-responsive, and when you guys open Cursor, if you do go this route or you open Lovable, it looks very scary. Like I said, you just have to talk to it like you're talking to, ChatGPT. It's very simple. There's certain prompts, but we can kind of go through, and we're going to build a website live today. But don't get too, in the weeds with it. Um, don't get too scared. Just have fun and kind of like experiment with like, okay, make this button. If we're on Cursor's website, you could say make this button pill shaped. So that is what this is called, this button right here. And then when I click it, have it open this link. So it's super straightforward. You need to be very clear with that. And low competition, high trust. These businesses all know that a better website is going to do better for them. It's just an absolute no-brainer. And then when you're able to kind of come in as um, the AI or the expert here, you're kind of looked at as a tech expert, and then AI and tech kind of go hand in hand when you're going through the point of view of a business owner. And it's super, super easy payday for you, for any of you guys. Maybe looking to get your first client, your second client, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. It's a great way to get paid. It is Cursor is, let's go through the pricing live so you guys can see. It is $20 a month. I'm not logged in on this browser, but I have the $20 a month one. If you guys go ahead, you can get, I forget, I think it's the pro one. If you get the pro one, it's $60 a month, and you and maybe somebody else on your team can all work on it at the same time. So that's something I do recommend. Or yeah, the team one, $40 per user per month. So you guys can all work at your own stations, but if you're, just getting started, get the pro plan. It's $20 a month. Start with the hobby one, even just to see if you like this versus Lovable. I don't even know what Lovable is pricing. $25 a month. If you do the annual, it goes down to 21. They go off of credit usage. I personally on Cursor have never gone over my credits. So just keep that in mind. Excuse me. So if we go through kind of the example offers and pricing breakdowns previously, before these companies would charge anywhere from 2 to 5 grand maybe for a website. It would actually take them a lot more time than this does. You could sling these websites all day for 1,000 to 1,500. That's a simple, simple, basic page, homepage, about, contact. That's it. Don't go, if they want all this other stuff, maybe in the growth package, they want to have all their Calendly integrated, maybe a checkout, Square, all that good stuff. That's where you can go ahead and upcharge. Excuse me. So the first package, that's going to be great for those HVAC companies, any local contractor, barbershops, realtors, salons. Super, super, super simple. We're going to go through a live example right after this. This one, the growth package, that's going to be more for a small firm, a med spa, or a local restaurant. The restaurant and the so if we take all of those, so if we go from a law firm, they're going to have a lot more integrations when people come in. They're going to come in, and then they're going to need to book a call with somebody on the team, maybe get some more information, submit a form. So that's going to be different than just, hey, you know, let me call a number for a local contractor. These people need to fill out, maybe certain information. They need to submit certain information. And like we went over on the AI receptionist one with law firms and stuff, you can charge a little bit more because due to the privacy and all these things you have to set up on the back end. You're gonna have a multi-page one. Maybe the local restaurant, maybe they have you're gonna have a full menu page. You're gonna have like a full events list that you're gonna have to keep updating. So that's why you would have maybe $250 a month. And then, you just need to host it. You can host that on Cloudflare. Cloudflare. If you guys aren't familiar, Cloudflare is this. If you're hosting your own website or you just want to build a website for your agency, that is also, you can do that too. You're going to go on here. It's completely free. If you go ahead and buy a domain on GoDaddy, you then have to change the name servers on it. I know if you guys don't know what I'm saying, please ask a question. I know I'm getting a little in the weeds here, but if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out the name servers on GoDaddy. It's in the DNS section. So you just go ahead and change them to, it's usually some name that Cloudflare gives you, and you can host it on there. There was a big Cloudflare shutdown, I believe a couple weeks ago, kind of tied in with that AWS. It does suck, but they host a bunch of stuff. It's very secure. It's not like a random third party. Most of the websites you guys ever interact with are going to be on Cloudflare. So go ahead and host it on here for free. You do not have to pay. They're gonna tell you to get this certain package. You just change the name servers, go into Cursor or Lovable, and then you could host it on here. It's the easiest thing in the world. And if you guys have any questions, please ask in the community while you're building. We'll go ahead and maybe do a full video walkthrough of Cloudflare. But that's that to host it. I would not host it anywhere else personally. And then to deploy it, you can use sites like GitHub. Lovable interacts directly with GitHub, and you can just deploy a website and you can just test it. Cursor's a little bit more. You have to do all these workarounds. You have to give it your GitHub. This, I believe, their pricing is super cheap. Yeah, I have the free version. Um, you're not going to need that much, the storage and all that stuff. You don't need to worry about any of this. This is super in the weeds. People that run crazy websites, they're going to need the more experienced stuff or the higher tiers. So let's go back to this. And then the third package, the premium, that is going to be a $5,000 to $8,000 setup, plus a $500 to $1,000 monthly maintenance. And that is where, say you're with that small law firm, let's say they instantly say yes to a website, but they want that AI receptionist or a little chat widget like I was talking about. That is an easy setup fee, to go from the 25 to 35 to the 5 to 8 grand, because you're still like you're charging them for the AI receptionist and the website, but then you can kind of pitch it to them like, okay, I normally charge 5 grand for my receptionist and I charge 3 grand for my website. I'm gonna go ahead and do everything for you for 6 grand for a setup and then a $1,000 monthly maintenance fee, just to make sure your website's good, your receptionist is not saying the wrong things, and your chat widget is functioning properly. So why does this work? It is a very low friction offer. You don't, if you as long as you're not going that third package and you're just talking to a business, you can go ahead and build a website in literally 5 hours, less than that, I'd say. You could build a really good website super fast. Um, why does this strategy work so well? You're building that immediate trust and proof. They are going to look at you like you're a god. I've built probably 15 to 20 websites now, personally, and then the rest of my team, they've built a bunch more. They look at you like you're God himself, because like they see a website like Apple, or let's take some Fortune 500 website, and they think it's so out of reach and that their company would never be able to look like that. You could just copy and paste a link into Cursor and you're good to go. And then once you deliver, and they're happy with it, if they want any changes, it's as simple as you going into your computer, and just making a few changes. You're going to go ahead and upsell them on something else. It's not hard at all, to then sell a receptionist. Maybe if they are, um, if they need some data management, that's another really big one that we're going to cover in another week, is going through and like we were just at this event where they had 100 data scientists for this pretty big telehealth company, and they got rid of, I think, 90% of them, and they had 10%, or they had 10 people left on the team just managing the AI systems. And then like they were the higher tier ones that had built out all the sites and all the sheets and stuff. That's 90 people's a job that are just gone. So whatever I don't know the exact dollar amount that they saved, but let's say on average maybe 40, 50 grand times 90 people. That's huge for a business. So if you can come in as a third party, as an agency, and really just do something like this for them, it's going to be a very big payday for you. Um, how to find clients. So you want to target the right industries. You want to focus on businesses that need better websites. That is going to be those med spas, the contractors and roofers, law firms, and accounting agencies. That's not on here, but they have some of the worst. All these boring accounting companies have the worst websites. That's what I started with my stepdad's company. It was terrible. It was awful. And we went ahead and got it right for him. Restaurants, cafes, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Some of the newer cafes, they have a better website, but some of those old restaurants that have been around for maybe 5, 10 years, they're outdated. They have a menu on there. They have a number to call and maybe a way to book a party. Super, super laid back, super chill websites. They're terrible. Definitely can go ahead and rework them. So let's go ahead and start an example. We're going to find prospects on Google Maps. So if Google Maps pulled up here, I am in Miami. So let's go to um, HVAC companies. So we have a bunch here in Miami. Let's go ahead and pick on, I don't know if this one has a website, doing all this live. So okay, this website is terrible. This is it's ugly. They have you can request a service. Just go through kind of where they're at. Financing guarantee, request service, call now. Ready to take your call 24/7. They don't have a chat widget down here in the bottom right that you can see. Privacy policy, pretty boring. So we're going to go ahead and start with, they have a little pop-up. So we're going to go ahead and start with this. Let me stop sharing for just a moment um, and pull up my cursor. What was the name of that website? Miami. I'm just going to call it Miami HVAC. Okay, let me come back to Zoom. Cursor. Okay, so we are in cursor now. In the top right, you can just go ahead and file, new text file. You're going to make a new website. So it's going to be a file on your computer. I would share that part of my screen, but I have a bunch of files open and with client names, and I just don't want to, show all of those. Super easy. It's just like clicking in Arbitrage OS, how you click new workspace. It's as simple as that. So we have nothing right now. We have that website that we looked at. I copied and pasted it here. So at the beginning, let me go ahead and delete that. Let's build a website. And like I was saying earlier, it's going to go ahead and pick whatever model. If we turned it off, it'll go into ChatGPT 5, Claude. Just leave it on auto. Leave it in agent. Don't have it do any background tasks. So let's build a website for a local HVAC company in Miami, Florida. This is their current website. I want to make it way better. Copy and paste the website, hit enter, and look at how fast this goes. It's reviewing everything. Just let it do its thing. It's gonna seem like it's going crazy. So right now, previously you would have had to write an entire line of code. It is building out. I just copied it. As you can see, it's working right now. It is building out an entire website. I had one prompt, and we're going to see how it does. It is taking what I gave it, and it is completely rewriting it in its own code on my laptop. And like this is how simple it is. You could have a functioning website in quite literally 4 prompts. So very, very cool. Gonna take a little bit. While it's loading, guys, do you guys have any questions? Go ahead and you guys can go ahead and ask inside the chat box on that. If you go to the Q&A section, I'm going to go ahead and answer a few of those while it's building out. It's going to take a little bit. You guys are pretty quiet today. Let me go back to cursor here. So it asks a bunch of questions. Right now, it has an entire index file. So this is literally an entire website right here. It's only about 400 lines. That's not too crazy. So perfect. I've created a modern professional website for a Miami HVAC company. This is significantly better than the current ARS website. Let me check for any linting issues and then provide you with a brief summary. Major improvements, key sections, hero, why choose us, all this mobile optimization. Okay, so what we're going to do is off of one prompt, run locally as uh, run run web locally. Yeah. So this is a little prompt that you can get it to use your server. So like right now, it's not an active website, the one we're building. It's just an index file on my computer. You could say this prompt run locally as dev. It'll go ahead and open locally. Just go like this. So it looks like that one that doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it doesn't open up right away. It has to use a different port. So let's try this. Okay. So this is from let me share. Okay. So that this is from one prompt. So we have, where is it? Okay. I have to share my entire screen. Let me back out of this. My apologies, guys. Okay. So we went from this website, pretty ugly, not that great, to a lot more modern functioning. So if we hover some of the buttons, they're not that, it's not really sexy of a website. And then we come back to one prompt. 24 emergency service, licensed and insured, 1,000 or 100% satisfaction guarantee. I'm sure it took stuff. I didn't actually read too deep in it. They're 7 days a week, 24/7. So it read that. They're guaranteed. We will work free, exceptional. So this built this entire thing out. A lot of AI websites all look the same. So this is where most people stop. It's okay, cool. I have this. Let me go ahead and send it to the company after a few prompts. You're gonna want to be a lot more in depth. So some of the stuff doesn't format correctly. Why choose us section? The colors they don't match. ARC rescue router, professional HVAC services. And like I didn't tell it to do this. I just said copy and website and like had it make it. So it automatically made a drop down section of AC repair, installation, heating, installation, maintenance, or emergency services, a full form, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put your email address in, your zip code, and then anything's and request a service. Right now, obviously, it's not hooked up to anything live, so it's not going to do anything. It took the number, a 305 number, an email. So, I mean, this is pretty dang good. You have all these, they're not connected, but you can say, connect the Google to this, connect the Instagram. So let's go through a few examples of ways that I would make this website better. Right now, you can see this, our HVAC services. I don't like that it is 4 wide. It automatically always goes to this. I'm going to talk to it like I have no experience, like I don't know what to tell it. I know a little bit better of how to really get around prompting it. So I'm just going to go from like a beginner level. So let's go back. You just copy, change let me move my thing, change you can just paste it, our HVAC service section to be more user friendly. I don't love how it is 3 wide, and then one more below. Let's make it have a cleaner UI. And then it just does its own thing. It's done. So if we go back and refresh. So now it got rid of the problem that I was thinking of. It looked weird 3. Now it's 2 and 2. You can make it go 4 wide. Get service. It goes down. The why choose us. This section is frankly quite ugly. I don't like what it did. So the boxes in the why choose us section are very ugly. You could talk to it like it's whatever. You could talk to it very simply. You could give it a lot more in-depth prompts. So are very ugly. Let's make them cleaner. Maybe we want why. So inside of each of the containers, so in a website, these are called containers, or you can call them boxes, or containers is the more proper term. Please have the title and icon at the top, and then the subheader below that, and leave and insert images related to section in the same container. Hope you guys are enjoying this. This is a little more technical, but I think there's a lot of value to get out of this. So I don't even read. Just so you guys know, I'm not sitting here like, oh, what you can do now, you can test this, smooth scrolling, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing any of that. You don't have to. You just need to make sure the website looks and functions right if you're building this for a client. Okay. I'm going to refresh. It's exactly what I wanted. You can have photos. You can go ahead and add photos onto here. What you would do is I want to have my own photos, image folder in the project file. So I asked it to make an image folder in the project file. That is actually happening locally on my computer. That is not kind of in the back end, yes. But what it did over here, I don't know if you guys can see this. It made an image folder. So I can go ahead and we can go could do, what's the easiest way to go about this? So see if I can take this photo. HVAC. So let's just take this photo. We're going to go ahead and download it. Save image. Desktop. No, it didn't save correctly. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot for sake of it. Take a screenshot. I'm not telling you guys to take a screenshot. I'm just showing you guys how you could go ahead and put it in there. So now we have this. You have this. You just drag, and actually you can. You're just going to drag and drop it into the image section. I have the photo right here. So let's go back to our website. Where do I want this? This is called the hero section of a website. This is where you will just go ahead and say add, and then it's labeled as whatever you downloaded it. So you can just say add at HVAC. It's going to pop up right here. You click on it. And you could just also drag and drop it over here. Maybe they changed it. HVAC. Add the HVAC. Okay, there we go. So you just have to type it out. Don't hit the app. Add HVAC in the hero section below the text. And you can do this with a video. If you guys have maybe down the line, if your client ever has a video, you may have seen it on the Grow AI website. We can show you that real quick. Grow AI agency. You guys can see this video that I have of myself right here. This is all, I built this entire website on Cursor, super high functioning. All the buttons work, everything's, works great. You can have a video container, it is called. There is a, and then you could just have it in the hero section. A lot of people have a video there. It's going to do a lot better than just a photo. If we're looking at maybe this photo, a video explains a lot more. It shows you a little bit more personality, especially if you have a law firm or a restaurant. You want like a cool video of your restaurant. That is something I would recommend having on the website. So that's that. Let's go back to Cursor, see how it did. Boom. It added it. It has a little, I hover over it. It works. It's not the best. It's not, ideal. I'm not going to go too in depth on this. The call now button. Oh, I think it actually opened. Yep. There you can see in the top right. It actually worked and it's going to start calling it. So before that would have required custom code to then get it to open up the phone, or if you have an email, see if the email works. Yep. So it's going to go ahead and open up an email. Let me go ahead and exit out of this. So they all work. I didn't have to tell it to do anything. So that's super, super good. Maybe when you're making this, let's say they have a Facebook, let's say they have an Instagram. Maybe this is after your first initial meeting with the client. You're you're going to want to go ahead and connect those links to their current website or their current Instagram or their current Facebook page or their Google page. Maybe even say, hey, I think you need reviews. This is going to be a lot easier way to go ahead and get reviews than just so you can make a custom page here, taking them to Google reviews rather than just a Google search. Their reviews here, maybe you take the top 3 reviews that they have, make it very personalized. So this is very generic. This is just random. They put random names in, where they're from, and then random things. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all of the reviews and just use one. So one of their, or first you say, remove all the reviews. They are not real. I have a real one from Jake Arnold. You would go on to maybe their Trustpilot or their Google reviews, or a restaurant, you go into their Yelp. Um, you can go ahead and have that. I would never have the direct link to the Yelp or the direct link to maybe their Trustpilot, because sometimes competitors of the restaurants, competitors of whoever, they may be a little bit, they may just click that and leave a negative review. So you never want to let their clients or let their competitors go ahead and have access to that stuff and possibly leave a bad review. If they're going to go above and beyond to do it, they're going to do it. But I mean, it's just a preventative measure that we take. Leave a real one from Jake Arnold. I replaced my, or I needed my AC replaced, and John came and did it in 48 hours. They were super nice and helpful. No hidden costs, and very easy to work with. I'm just making up a random review and make it 5 stars. He is in Midtown. So they're going to, I'll replace all the reviews. Boom. 2 seconds, refresh, boom. They did it. So you can change literally anything on the website. So let's say you've built something really cool out. You want to get very granular on things. So let's change this uh, or something that you really like, but there's like a maybe it doesn't match their brand colors. So let's say that their brand colors are not orange and blue. Let's pick a random mm, blue colors. So let's pick a random or green colors. Let's pick a random shade of green. Let's look at the hex code. Let's take olive green for an example. 708238. Oh, sorry about that. Change the website color to their brand. They use 708238. Green. So it's going to know exactly what green that is. You don't have to explain it to it. You just give it the color. I believe that that's the correct one that it's going to use. And then it's going to go through and change all the colors. It is changing every CSS file. Okay, so it did it. That one took a little bit longer than normal. I'm going to go back to the website. So it changed it to olive green. That's it's going to know exactly what to change. And then in this case, it kind of messed up these. So you're gonna want to tell it to go back and fix those. There is times with cursor and lovable where you keep telling it to do a certain thing and it's going to keep messing up. It's gotten a lot better. I'd say 6 months ago when I was building websites, I had a lot more instances where I'm like, this button's not working. This isn't doing this. You need to, sorry guys, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I've been a little nauseous today, so please bear with me. But it just would not do what you told it to. Take a step away. You're gonna get mad at it. I've been yelling at it. I've just said, I'm gonna give up. Let's restart the website. Don't do that. Take a look and use your brain. I always tell people if you're building a website, use your brain. Maybe you asked it to do something before. You say, okay, I asked you to change this button to do this before. Is that what's causing the issue? Because it's not working now. This isn't working. This button's not working. What's going on? It's going to go back and relearn kind of everything that you've given it and go ahead and fix it. It's going to take time, but please be patient with it. So I don't like the orange. We're going to kind of wrap this up a little bit. Change the orange to, let's make it black, simple black, and make the website black, off silver, and our green. So it's going to go through and do everything. Background colors. You come back to the Zoom. How did, so sorry, John, I just saw your question. So how did you get to the website that was built from Cursor? Okay, so you found it. So I'll go through it again real quick. Let me go back to share my screen. So what I did was you can access it in your Finder. It's going to be inside of uh where is it? So you can just go ahead in here and double click on this and it'll open it up like that. So that's the same exact website. Or you can have it run locally as dev. But you can just go to your Finder. You're going to click on the index.html, double click it, and it'll go ahead and open it. So this will fully function about, well, there's no about for this website yet. Contact. You could double click it, or you can say run locally as dev, and that's going to open up a dev window in your laptop. I would just click the index.html. It's a lot easier to do. Um, okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. Let's say your client, you have their logo. Maybe you go onto their website, you go up to here, you just download. This one's not downloadable, but let's say you just download theirs. You go ahead and slap it up here. You make it pretty, make it look exactly how you would build it out and how like solve a real pain point on their website. So this one, the request service, maybe there's other ones, so that's why we have it down here. Maintenance emergency service. I don't, do they have an emergency service? No, they don't. So that's something you kind of throw in there like, hey, I see you guys don't have this. Maybe you guys can upcharge for emergency services. Um, and a lot of the times, websites that have scheduled service buttons earlier, higher up, that will then take them to whatever you want the person to do. If it's a website or if it's a law firm and you want them to book a consultation call, having something up here that's going to take them down to the form is very, very big. And then maybe having this right away for HVAC, 9 times out of 10, people are just going to go ahead and call in. And this is a super way to or super easy way to then maybe throw in a widget down here and train it on a knowledge base. And then an AI receptionist to go ahead and answer these calls. Like I said, super, super simple way to get into these businesses. So let's say you're happy. I would go ahead and maybe set up a call with the founder of the company or whoever the operator that you're speaking to. Hop on maybe a Zoom or a Google Meet. Then you could share your screen. Say, hey, John, I built out this website for you. I just wanted to show you real quick kind of where we're at. I've been building it over the last few days. By no means is this the final product. I want to go back and forth with you, but I just noticed that your website could be updated. It's super out of date. You're lacking on this, this, and this. We can go ahead and get you more clients by implementing this, which will be, maybe an AI agent or something like that to answer these calls that you're kind of promoting. Really solve their pain points. If you had an introductory call with them before, you're going to know those pain points on this, show them it. Please don't show up to that call with I would not show up with this. This is a good website by all means, it's a good website. It's not a great website. I would put in photos. I would make these sections prettier. I would add maybe the about doesn't work. These buttons down here don't work. Um, this is good. Services, yeah, kind of. But I would go a little bit more in depth. So I would make a whole page about our HVAC services. So the air conditioning, I would make the reviews a lot better. I would put their best reviews. Maybe if they have photos of the reviews, I would go ahead and slap those on there. And it's a no-brainer for these website or these business owners. Two jobs from this website, from somebody going to a better website, two closed jobs is going to be, you know, I don't, depending on whatever the service is for an HVAC company, I've paid anywhere from $500 to just have a simple maintenance, all the way up to I think it was like $1,200 to have this part of my AC went out last summer, which was terrible. I'm down here in Miami. It was like 85 degrees in my apartment. It was awful. But what I'm saying is a website for $1,000 to $1,500 isn't an absolute no-brainer. It's an easy check for them to stroke. And then now they look at you as a god in the space. They look at you as a tech genius. Oh my God. And if you can get like in depth with them, like, hey, I just want to show you what I built out. And you could send like, yeah, I built out this long thing of code and I would not, big thing I want to reiterate here. If you're approaching these businesses, do not tell them I'll have a website for you in 3 hours. Make them think that it does take you a little bit longer. Hey, We had our nice introductory call. I'm going to go ahead and build some stuff out, some offerings. Spend a couple days building out the website. You could spend one day, but give it a couple days before you then pitch it to the owner because they're going to be like, well, how'd you do that in a couple hours? Regardless, they don't know how to do it, which is the plus here. But just for saving your butt, I would just go ahead and wait a couple days before you go ahead and show it to them. So let's say they're ready to sign up. This is where you're going to go ahead. You're going to pitch them on the service, um, and you really want to be focused on their. So if we go to this website, you're going to tell them all the things. You don't want to be too rude. You don't want to say, your website sucks. You just say, hey, I think we can improve some things on your website. I went ahead and built out this one for you. We're solving this problem, this problem, this problem, and it's going to allow you to book more calls. This one, you really don't have to offer a guarantee, as opposed to an AI agent that does require a lot more maintenance. This one, it's a simple, easy pitch. You make the website once and you're done. You can offer a maintenance fee for $250 to $500 a month. That's just simple things like that once you kind of run the backend website, they don't really have access to edit it. So let's say for these ones, they're running these limited time offers. These expire at the end of this month in a couple of days. That's something that, for maintenance, they'd say, hey, Jake, can you go ahead and add in these codes? I don't even know if these codes work. They're just offering. There's not even a code at checkout. So that's something that you would go ahead and add. Maybe they're running a seasonal promotion. Maybe they just want to stop maintenance, or maybe they want to stop um, heating systems and really just focus on air conditioning. I'm just giving out a random example. Probably wouldn't do that here in Florida, maybe, but um, maybe they want to get rid of that. That's where you would just charge them a monthly fee. And by no means are these going to be you know, 50, 60, $70,000 contracts, but you saw how fast I got to this. Imagine how many businesses have terrible websites. If we go back to this, let's take a look at another one. Miami big time air conditioning. This is god awful. This is hideous. Um, they have different fonts. They have these photos that seem to be spinning. I don't know. I don't know here. Um, all the this is just god awful. They have their licensing number, which is good, but by all means, if anybody's in Miami here, you guys can go ahead and hit up this company. Big time air conditioning. Um, it's terrible. The buttons probably work, but it's quite ugly, and I can make a better one in 5 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just looking at HVAC companies. If we look at plumbing, if we look at landscaping, if we look at whoever, they're all bad most of the time because they set it up and they do word of mouth and they market maybe with local ads. They're super 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 basic stuff. Let's look at theirs. So this is a better website. By no means is it great. Um, Site content, whatever. It's actually quite bad. So they have no button. So they have the call up here. They have no button in here. Right into who Manny Garcia is. Most people don't care. They just want their website or uh their air conditioning fixed. So that was a simple example. This could go for any kind of business. This is, we focus mainly on HVAC today for ease. But you could go into a law firm. You could do the same exact thing. Let's say this is where most people stop. So let me make sure there's no other questions. Just ask cursor. Okay, John. Cool. Yeah. You can, and that's the thing. Like John, one of our guys here, he said he just asked cursor. and you can talk to it like a large language model. Not every prompt that you do has to be it doing something. So if you have a question, you say, um, how can I make this website better? And super basic question. Let's get a little more niche. How can I make this website convert more calls? That is my only focus, is to get people to call in. And you can ask it questions. It's basically like talking to ChatGPT. Great question. Let me optimize it. And it's just going to do stuff. You can say, don't do anything. Let's just talk about it first, and it'll give you some options. Floating call button, mobile responsive. And you always want to test it out on mobile before you show the company what you're doing. You can run it live locally. And then what you can also do is if you go like this, you make this smaller, you can drag it like this, skinny. You just make it smaller. And this is how it's going to function on mobile. Super easy hack if you want to do that. Maybe sometimes it's a little bit wide. You want to make it skinnier. Just say to do that. It looks a little weird on mobile. Tells you to go up to the top. So I just pushed uh, that live, the change we just made. AC broken, emergency service available now. I mean, it looks terrible on the green, but that's huge. I mean, if you landed on a website for HVAC, you're most of the time you're not just calling it, hey, I think my AC is going out. Maybe sometimes, but most of the time it's a urgent problem. Having something like this that automatically calls. In my opinion, there's too many call, call, call. I would dial it back a little bit. Miami heat emergency. Call now. So this one doesn't work clickable. That's something I would change. Maybe they put another one. Call now for immediate services. Oh, it's going to call from my phone. But that's just use your brain. I would not submit this. Make it pretty, make it more user friendly. I mean, that's huge for an HVAC company. If you're in that, or if you're in a restaurant industry, if you're in a lawyer, having something, a real strong call to action. And then down the line, something to get a little bit more technical. If you get SEO keywords, that's huge. So we were just at a conference yesterday and the day before where a Google AI specialist came in and he was talking about how most people are using Google and ChatGPT now, and Google's now turning into Gemini. It's just using Gemini as the automatic default as opposed to just Google. Gemini is the large language model that Google has built, but before that, it was just a normal Google search searching the World Wide Web. Now it's kind of moving into Gemini and getting ranked, getting your business ranked, even for your agency, is going to be huge. We don't have too much knowledge on that right now, and how that's going to play out. But showing up in Bing searches, Google searches, believe ChatGPT predominantly uses Bing as their is who they recommend. So getting keywords in there, and really, over the coming months, we're going to be staying on top of how to rank higher with SEO, and how to get your page higher. In a large language model, people are using ChatGPT more than ever to just my AC went out, who do I talk to? It's easier. It's on their phone. A lot of people still use Google. As of last year, Google usage, I believe, was still at like 85% as opposed to ChatGPT was at like 10, 15%. But is predominantly gone up over the last 12 months. That stat was a little bit old, but yeah, we're going to be staying on top of that on showing you how to rank higher for your business. And, we're going to use it for our own agency as well as grow AI. So that's that. Any other questions? I'm going to go through one more thing on here. Any other questions in the meantime while I'm kind of gearing up for this kind of more technical thing? Let me go back to cursor. Share for a second. Mm, Nothing yet. But does that all make sense, guys? I hope it does. I hope I didn't go too in the weeds. I know, some of you watching this may not be technical at all. I have always been a little bit more technologically savvy and advanced, but this all just kind of once you play around with it, I tell everybody it's like doing anything in life. Um, get in there, play around with it, have it do everything. Say, talk to it like you're, complete beginner. You don't need some crazy prompts. If you want to do certain things, yes, you do. It's as simple as copy and pasting and just saying, I want this, make this color this, or make this button this color. Make it, you could say, use this font. So we're gonna go back. I have a few more minutes here. I'm just gonna go through a little bit more of how you can kind of customize it and make it look different than everybody else's website. Because a lot of people are going to use Cursor, a lot of people are going to use uh, ChatGPT and stuff or Lovable to make basic websites. Make this website function and look like a Fortune 500 company website. I want it to feel modern and friendly. So while it's doing that, if down the line it's going to take a lot longer, you could say make an about us page separate from the homepage that you can navigate to from the nav bar and homepage. You can start queuing things up. So right now it's writing all custom, it's writing everything out. You can see in here, still writing. You can queue things up, change all the font to hmm, man rope. That's a common font. So it made another about.html file. So index is just gonna be like your baseline for everything, and then it's gonna have access to all the other pages. So if you're on Apple's website, you're going to the Mac page or you're going to the iPhone page. Those are the different kind of files that they have. And for SEO, I want to make this website SEO optimized for Miami HVAC companies. So I rank higher. And sometimes it talks back to you and says, oh, it's a great idea. Um, so it's adding all the tags and stuff. There's SEO companies that have been working for the last 5, 10 years that have been charging a boatload for this. So it's as simple as one prompt. It just added 149 lines of code in the matter of what? It's almost done. So see, it just puts like team members John Smith, Mike Rodriguez, Sarah Johnson, basic stuff, and then you're going to go in and change it to either your agency if you're building your own website or to the clients. It don't matter there. Don't get too caught up in the weeds of all this stuff over here. I don't even sitemap. That's for Google indexing. JavaScript is kind of like the colors and functionality of everything, as well as the CSS. They work hand in hand. Um, boom. So now we go back, change all the font. It did make it a little bit prettier, I guess. Didn't really do all that. About us. So the About Us page scene does not seem to be working. It made this little drop down. When you click them, it doesn't work. Let's go back to the About Us page isn't working. So that's, when something isn't working, you just say, hey, let's see what um there are any issues. Let me go. I found the issue, the navigation link to index.html anchor instead of pointing to this. Whenever these pop up, I always just hit it. Okay, so it looks like it has fixed it. There we go. So that's an instance where it didn't work. It did all this work. You think it works great. And then you click a button and it just completely doesn't do anything. So our story, it made up an entire story. You're going to want to customize it to your business, their mission, customer first, meet our team. This is where you would put the photos of the people, certifications and awards. This is going to be huge. Stuff that they like to show off and flex or really show them, paint them out to be like the expert. They got this, this, and this. This is where they service all the main areas inside of Miami and the additional areas. Don't see your area, call us. Again, another CTA here. So that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to go through this. If there's any other questions, you guys can ask now, but I hope that was helpful in really how easy. I mean, we've been on this call for an hour. We spent the first 30 minutes kind of going over the idea of building out a website for a client, and we spent probably all in me not explaining stuff 10 minutes inside of Cursor and built out a fully functioning website with reviews, contact form. You would just connect this to whatever their backend form. You can use Form Spree. This is a website, code server. You would just They have a quick plan. And all this stuff, you would put that on the client. You would not have them, or you would not be paying for this, just so you guys know. I want to make that very clear. Monthly billing, you say, hey, you need this form. They get one job from a form submission. It's worth, I would set them up with this. Um, or you could bake it in to their cost. You say, I use this company or I use this no, I'll stay away from that. You guys can just tell them to sign up for FormSpree. That way they have all the logins and stuff. They give you the logins to your either your dev or yourself. And you go ahead and with this website, I have used it before for a company and it's just copying code. And that is a little bit more in depth. So if you like the hero video in the website, that is a code thing. So you would just find a link to how to embed code. Super, super easy. You would just search, how do I embed a YouTube video code? You would just copy your YouTube link and maybe paste it in there. You could do a Google Drive link and it'll embed that. We use Vidalytics for video hosting. Um, Vidalytics. So this is a great website. If you guys want to host videos on your website, recommend using Vidalytics. They're super cheap. $24 per month. You don't need this one. This is a little more enterprise. Um, and this one you can get heat maps. You can see where people are clicking or how long they're walking or watching and all that good stuff. So another little tech kind of tip here, Vitalytics is great for video hosting. If you want to pitch that to your client, have them get FormSpree, get Vitalytics, and they're all set to go. Whatever their phone provider is, you're just going to connect everything on the back end. And if you don't know how to do that, can ask ChatGPT how to do it. You can ask a dev how to do it. If they're the ones setting it up, they're going to know how to do all that. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have. I was a little all over the place, but I hope that was helpful in understanding really how easy building out a website can be. It before you would have to use Webflow or Wix or Shopify or GoDaddy itself, and you have to build out all the code, and it's super complex, super time consuming, and not really worth anybody's time, to be honest. But these businesses, they don't care about their website. They've had the same website for the last I don't know, 10, 15 years, if that, or 5, 10 years. It's outdated. Go on your local Google Maps. Go if you know if you're in the restaurant industry, if you're in the local contractor industry, find examples of bad websites, pitch these clients on it, and close these deals. It's you saw how easy it was to fulfill. A lot of people get scared about the tech fulfillment. And like I said, this is the easiest way to get your foot in the door to then close those higher contracts, the 3 to 5K setup fee, and then the ongoing monthly retainers. They're going to think that you're the tech genius. You guys can be a tech genius. I learned Cursor. I spent one weekend. They call it vibe coding. All the real coders, they hate us. They hate people like us, the people that went to school for 10 or they went to school for 3 to 5 years to go ahead and learn how to code like a genius. They went to Harvard or any of these crazy Ivy League schools. By no means am I better than them. Am I competing with them? They can do way more in-depth computer science stuff. They know how code works. You don't know how to like understand every line of code. You don't. It's just simple. There's people out there that can do that and that are good at it, and they're going to be the ones that you hire probably down the line as you're scaling your agency. But to start, go ahead, pitch a business. I want to see you guys active, and if you're watching this in the future, go ahead, throw it in the wins channel. Maybe you built out a website in Cursor as a test. We want to use the community and show other people how easy it is. And really just encourage everybody inside of the Grow AI community, everybody that's in here. We're all here for the same reason to grow our own agencies. So put a win in there is if you just built a website, that's a win. If you maybe called a business and you pitched them on a website and they got back to you and they said, yeah, we want to set up a second call, that is a win. And if you have a tech question, of course, use the corresponding tech channel. But I'm going to leave you guys there. We went a little over today. I hope you guys maybe leave a comment in the community if you guys enjoy these more technical videos. I'm pretty well versed in every spot, but I do, for some reason, just love building websites. I've built websites probably for the last 8 years. I built one for my mom and I had a clothing brand that I built, and I remember how hard it was when I was a lot younger. And to see where we're at today is very, very cool. And the opportunity that's in front of us to then sell these to businesses. It's pretty evergreen, pretty blue ocean right now. So I'll leave you guys at that. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening wherever you are. If you're with family, if you're by yourself, whatever, have a great night, have a good dinner, and let's crush it this week. That's it. Have a good one. Bye bye.